Hey, I'm Jamie. So we're back on the Bachmann Spectrum GE 44 tonner rebuild. So today we're going to actually replace the headlights. I already did one side, so I thought I'd share with you an easy way to replace the headlights on these units. And I have to admit that, yeah, I broke it. That's why I'm replacing the headlights. The original unit of these things have a, let's see if we can get in here and see it actually. Get my little brush here, you can see there's actually a light pipe on the inside. The teardown process has these little lights that actually shine up, and then there's a light pipe that picks it up and brings it out to the headlight. To be frank, I was kind of on the borderline to keep it or not. I didn't like it because, well, it just wasn't bright enough. It seemed kind of dim, and I don't know, there was something about it. Anyway, so I started playing around with one just to see how easy it was to remove, and the next thing I knew, it's broken in half. So that set me down the journey of, well, if that one's broke, should I just go ahead and replace them all to match? So the headlights, there's this clear glass, well, it's not even glass, plastic in front of it. And then there's the light pipe. So these are glued at the factory or somewhere, and easy way I figured out how to get it open is to use a small drill bit. And I'm going to come in here and just drill a small hole in the plastic. I'm using a 0.5 millimeter drill bit. And this is just a little hand drill that I use for a lot of models. And let's rotate, rotate, rotate. All right, till we have a hole in it. Now, let's see if it actually works or not. So I'll put a small hole in it. The other one, just as soon as I did that, actually just kind of popped out. Let me get, I got a kind of sharp point here. I'm going to try to get it in there. There we go. And boom. Just like that, we have our lens out. Now comes the fun part. The light pipe is actually in there. This one may be a little bit easier. I tried pushing it through, but it seems to be fairly glued in there. So what I did was, again, take my 0.5 millimeter, centered it, as best you can. And start a pilot hole. Once I have my pilot hole drilled, I'm going to go and increase the size to a actually 0.1, it's a 1.1 millimeter to drill it out a little bit more. All right, at that point, as you saw, the drill just kind of plopped in, and we have our light pipe loose. And we can remove the inside. There it is. what's left of it. We can throw that away. Final cleanup. I'm going to go with my 1.5 millimeter. And I actually tried to uncure the bonder with it, and this didn't work. And I actually ended up messing up a little bit in the other light, so I found drilling seems to work the best. So we did a 1.5 on that one. I'm gonna do a 1.9, and you can actually probably do a 2 if you have that in your stockpile. And the final one, because what I'm designing to go in its place is actually 2 millimeter in size. I'm going to change out my bit for a 2.1 millimeter. And as you can see here, we already have a good hole started, a good headlight. And I'm going to run this through, again, very gently. And I want to pull that back out. So we have our material. We have our headlight drilled out with the hole in it. And what's going to go in its place? This is actually a preliminary design of the headlight. Again, I have a 3D printer that does resin, and I have clear material in it. It works great for making your own light pipes. So this is the first design of this. Let me see if you can even see that or not. But it's actually going to go pretty much in like that. I'm not going to push it all the way in because it's kind of a tight fit how I designed it. But you're going to end up with something that looks very similar to that. This is not the final design. I actually have this final design on my 3D printer over here, about ready. The final design actually has a mechanism in back of it where I can actually mount an LED light, specifically the 603 size LED, and that's something I want to hit on. I've designed a few of these to go into a few different sceneries, a few different light sources, and the 603 has been my go-to for LED size for HO scale, especially when it comes to white LEDs, specifically warm white LEDs. Say that 3 times fast. Warm light LEDs. So warm light LEDs in the 603 seems to me to give off a more pure warm light than the 402 equivalent. 402 is much smaller, and actually I have something here set up and I'll show you. Bring them over here so everything works as it should. Let's see if I can get both of them over here. So actually I'm going to turn out this lights above me here. Let's see if we can see it in the thing. How we have it right now, you can see that both of them are kind of fairly identical. Let me separate, give them some space in there. Is that right? Yeah, we can kind of see. You can kind of see it more. And again, this is because of the camera and the light on it. This one here, use a blue kind of pointer. I should get a pointer. So this one here is the 402 size LED, and you can see it's a much cooler. It's not as yellow orange as the 603 size. The 603 puts out a warmer light. Why is that? Let me get my lights back. So in order to get warm light LEDs, they actually have to put a material inside of the LED that the light reacts with. I think it's usually phosphorus or some other kind of chemical compound they kind of put inside of it, and when the light hits it, instead of being the cool bluish light, it turns it to a warmer type color, kind of reacts with it. It's kind of the same idea of like fluorescent light bulbs in a very miniature sense. The 603 has more area and you get more warmer color is what I've come to find out. I wouldn't use a 402. It's very small and it is very tempting to use that. But then the reason I hit upon this was I actually designed some ditch lights and I used the 402 in them. And I was like, thought I was doing good until I put everything together. And I fired them up on the locomotive. And all of a sudden I have these nice warm lights in the front of it for the headlights. And I've got these really bluish ditch lights. It does not look very great having the two light colors together. So that kind of led me down to do some research to find out about the size that matters the most. Maybe there's some 402s out there a little bit better. I've tried a few different brands and I just haven't been too satisfied with them. They probably work great as a welder type light or something like that, but if you want a warm, true warm white LED, 603 or greater size seems to be the way to go. So the holder I'm designing again has a base in there that the light will actually go up into, and then we'll shove that in, but prepare the model to receive this. It will actually be very identical to size to the light pipes that are in there. Probably at the time it's probably cheaper to do it this way, and that's why Bachmann chose to do it. Since I'm part of the rebuild process and already kind of messed it up, I decided just to go ahead and do it the right way. So in our next episode that we're going to come on to, now that we have this cleaned up, we're going to start the process of getting this ready to take this new model I've designed, and we'll go through putting it together. More than likely I'll probably put this model up on my website for people to come check out. You can purchase it. It'll be pre-put together. It just makes things a whole lot easier. So that covers it for today. We got the headlights corrected from my mistake, or at least on the path of being corrected from breaking things. And if you do a lot of these rebuilds, you're going to find out that you're going to break stuff. So it's good to have a part supplier on hand, or at least know how to work your way around it to kind of get your idea of what you want. In this case, I was thinking about replacing those lights anyway. So, you know, sometimes the model helps you along to actually achieve the result that you want. So this covers it for this episode, and the next episode we're going to get this prepared to go to accept those lights. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, and that's it for the day. And I hope everybody has a great day, great night, great week, whatever. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk to everybody soon. Have a great day. Bye.